Okay.
Hello. If I do the intro, I'll get in trouble, so you better do it. Every time you forget what to say, and I go, "Welcome to What the Fuck Stories and Advice." You go,
That's my thing, Daryl. Okay. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, hang on. Okay. All right, welcome to WTF Stories and Advice. I'm Caroline Cranshaw, hypnotherapist, and today we have the one and only Daryl Gove. Woo!
"Woo! Hi.
We've missed you, Daryl.
Good to be back." Well, unfortunately, I was on a cruise ship, and because of COVID, it hasn't been able to dock. So I've just been going round and round and round the world for the last year and a half.
Wow. That's really weird because I've taught with you and done all kinds of stuff with you. So are you able to bilocate or something that I didn't know? Or are you just full of shit?
Oh, didn't I tell you I was bilocational? No, I'm full of shit. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we had it pretty good in New Zealand for a while. And now
We're on lockdown again, but
we're in prison. Which is not surprising. Yeah, we have been in lockdown in New Zealand for 8 weeks now?
about 8 weeks. But it's as compared to Melbourne, it's really not too bad.
No, it isn't. But we do lockdown pretty hardcore here. There's nothing opened. You can't do anything but go to the pharmacy and go to the grocery store or go to the hospital. And that's it.
That's it. Nowhere else.
No, there's no restaurants. There's no takeaways. There's no fried chicken. It's bullshit.
We are the ball gag orgy of hardcore lockdowns.
Ball gag orgy? What is that? What is that? Does that just mean hardcore?
Yeah.
Well, you can't put a dick in your mouth if you have a ball gag in, can you, Daryl?
That's hardcore. That's commitment.
If someone got out a ball gag and tried to put it on me, I would lose my fucking shit.
Yeah, I don't know. I would think it was amusing. I don't think I'd have an opinion one way or the other, to be fair, except for being able to breathe is quite important.
Yeah, I can't breathe through my nose very well, so I'd be really bad at a ball gag. Anyways.
Okay, I'll just make a note on that one to tell your partner. Caroline's birthday is coming up in December if anybody wants to send a gift. And no ball gags, please.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So we've got a listener's letter that I'd like to take.
A letter? Did they post it? Or I guess it's an email.
An email.
Let me get
it came through an email.
It was by registered letter. It's what was the old things that you used to get? A telegram? Remember those?
A telegram, yeah.
Oh my God. I can remember as a kid people getting telegrams. What the hell?
Well, you remember that.
Yeah, I am that fucking old. No, fuck you. Okay. Because that's bullshit. No, it was someone, I must have been a little kid and my grandfather's mother died or something and he got a telegram about it. It was really weird. I don't know.
Did they not have a telephone?
Yeah, they had telephones. It was the rotary dial telephone though. But let's not talk about how old I am.
It might not have been to do with that. I had a client who, when a relative passed, wrote letters to everyone to tell them. And this was at a time when they definitely could have picked up the phone. And there's something maybe therapeutic about writing or something more personal about a letter perhaps, or a telegram. I don't know. I wouldn't know, Caroline. We're from obviously different times.
Fuck you. You're not that much younger than me. Yeah.
We're 5 years difference.
More than that. But anyways. I'm 24. Yeah. Not. So, okay. This listener's letter was addressed to you. So we'll have you read it.
Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I don't know if I am. Okay, so, hey, Caroline. Let's say that my name is James. So definitely not James then. I have 2 questions. The first is for Daryl. As you said, he is a dick expert. Did you say that?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm a dick expert too. I take offense to that.
I would think that you're probably more of an expert than me. I don't know. Not implying anything.
Yeah, I see what you're implying. No, but I have a reasonable expertise, and I talk about dicks a lot with my clients. So, anyways, go on. Sorry, read your letter.
I don't talk about dicks. I don't talk about dicks with my clients, but I feel
Really?
like I've seen at least a couple. No, not too often. No.
2?
You
don't talk
not
about
of my
dicks.
clients.
I talk about dick all the time.
No, I find that probably straight men have erectile dysfunction, don't want to see a gay man for that. They probably want to go and see a woman or maybe a straight man.
Yeah.
So I do get the odd client with that, but not too much.
No, I'm queen of the dicks. The limp dicks.
Queen of the dicks. You should have been called Queen of the Hard Dicks.
The hard dicks, that's right.
Title.
I'm queen of the hard dicks.
Queen of the Hard Dicks, but too late now. It's stuck. So this is James. So he's a male, 46, and he says, "My wife has measured my dick and tells me it's 6 inches long. Is that decent?" Well, it's pretty much average, right? Is it decent?
I think it's above average. Isn't it? Isn't that like
I don't know about the American ones.
You should see Daryl's face right now. No, because I think the average penis is what, like 4 or 5 inches long?
No, it can't be that small.
Yeah. No, I think so.
No.
Yes. Okay, hang on. I got to look this up.
Are you talking flaccid? You must be talking flaccid.
No. Do you see like 5-inch limp dicks? I guess so.
I just, I don't really see them that small ever, except for 1 or 2 times.
I don't think this is helpful.
Okay. Maybe I think in New Zealand it's perhaps a little bit different. So,
okay. No, I'm not talking about my own experience here. Okay, my experience is vastly different. But I'm
we
just
have 2
okay.
dick experts.
Yeah.
Arguing over what's an average dick size. We don't know.
Average. Hang on. I've got to look this. We're obviously not experts. Average.
So
penis.
Yeah.
Side. Okay, here you look it up, and I will find out what the average cock length is.
So everything I look up says it's average, and for most women, it's enough. I've basically only been with one woman all my life.
5.1 inches is the average length of an erect penis. Yeah, 5.1. Yep.
Is that okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So you're above average. Congratulations, James. A whole inch above average.
Yep.
Which is what, like almost a couple of centimeters. So well done. Good stuff.
That is a couple of centimeters. Yeah. 2.5.
Yeah, there we go. Your wife says it's fine. And I think Caroline might agree dick size really isn't the most important thing. And it's important that you're confident with it, that you like it. Girth is going to be just as important. But if your wife liked it, she liked it. So, no problem there. The second question, is there anything I can do to make it bigger? Well, play with it and it should go hard. Like a vac pump. Oh, you mean permanently bigger? Like a vacuum pump.
Do vacuum pumps make them permanently bigger?
I would doubt it. I remember watching a British comedy where he went to see this doctor for a penis enlargement technique, and his friend goes, "Did it work?" He goes, "Well, yes, it did get enhanced temporarily." He's talking about getting a hard on. As far as vacuum pumps, I don't know. Has anybody used one and had any success or not? If you have, can you let us know? Email us so that we can give a testimonial. I would have to guess that it wouldn't.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if I've dated any men that used vacuum pump penis pumps. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. The average vagina is only like 4 inches long.
See, I wouldn't know either.
No, you're definitely not a vagina expert, Daryl. We all can attest to that. Whereas I am of my own vagina. I'm not really an expert of other vaginas. But
oh, yes. Tell us more.
It's Daryl's favorite topic is talking about vaginas, if you really want to like gross them out. Yeah, so I think that 6 inches is good. But Here's what I think, right? I'm going to add my 2 cents. If you have a good tongue, it doesn't matter how big your dick is, you know? Daryl has nothing to say.
To be fair, I don't really care about dick size. I really don't. It's not the most attractive part of a male to me. It's for me it doesn't matter, and I think it sounds like you've got more concern with it than anybody else, and so make your own peace with your dick, and whoever you're with will have peace with your dick as well, and have a piece of your dick.
Yeah.
Inside them. So
there's all beautiful dicks. All dicks are beautiful, just like all vaginas are beautiful.
And if you would like it to get bigger, the answer is I don't think there's a magic pill, because I think that it would sell and make a lot of money if there was a magic pill to make dicks bigger.
Viagra,
there's surgery, and I've heard of people like tying coins and tying it like a string or whatever around the end of their penis, and then hanging coins off of it, and so that the gravity pulls it down over time. But again, I don't know if that's true. That's just a story that I heard one time.
Well, is that why they do like the Prince Alberts and like hang things from it? Oh, ow.
Ooh, could be.
What if it pulled all the way through and cut it? I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's pretty tough. Have you been with somebody with a Prince Albert?
No, I haven't. I'd be afraid it would cause damage. But I think, there's a lid for every pot. I know women that like small dicks. I know women that like big dicks. But I think it's really what's on the other end of the dick that's important.
On the other end? So like the balls?
No, the person. The person is on the other end of the dick. Or attached to the dick, I should say. What's attached to the dick is, because someone can have a massive penis, be great in bed, but if they're an asshole, you don't really want to be with them.
Yeah, you don't care. Like, it very quickly becomes an ugly dick. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's my story. Not my story, obviously, but James's story.
I'll let you, finish.
So I'm reading as James.
Okay.
No, and let's chat as we go. I got married when I was 22 years old, and about 3 years into my marriage, my wife became paralyzed in a car accident. Ooh, that's a horrible, shitty, horrible thing to happen.
Yeah.
So soon in. I took care of her for 10 years until she passed 1 month before her 13th anniversary.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, James.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I was lost. 6 months passed, and I decided to see what was out there. I signed up on a dating website and went on a few dates. Good for you. I kept looking at this woman from Missouri's profile, even though I was in Ohio. Let's call her Linda. Okay, so I'm not from the States. How is that, like 600, 700, 800 miles? It's a long way away, right? Missouri and Ohio?
Yeah, it's a decent amount. I couldn't tell you. I haven't spent a huge amount of time in Missouri or Ohio. I've actually never been to either state. But I wouldn't say they're like next to each other. Like Ohio's more north, I think. Don't ask me. I haven't lived into the States for like 20-something years.
I know. Okay. If you ask me, towns in Scotland, I would not be able to tell you where they are except the main ones.
Yeah. So
Linda messaged me and told me to send her a message or quit looking at my profile. Okay, I don't know what sites they are where you can see who's looked at you, but whether they've messaged you or not. So anyway, he got brave and he sent her a message. And we started emailing, then eventually swapped phone numbers and started talking. I told her up front, we can be friends, but I'm not moving to Missouri.
Fair enough.
It's a very, it's fair enough, but also it's to say that up front, it's quite interesting to lay your cards on the table like that.
Yeah, I mean, they're quite different places. But yeah, looking at a map, Missouri is like 2 states over, in between Illinois and Indiana. So yeah, it's a fair way away.
So we kept talking, texting, and sexting. There's mixed signals there, sexting and then just friends. But however, if that's all that you wanted and that's all she wanted, good on you, safe. We started talking in May, and by August, she was driving to Ohio to meet me. She booked into a local hotel for 4 days. I did that once. I was dating this guy in Taupo, and so I went down to meet him, and so I booked in a motel. obviously, which I did not see the inside of. Thank God, because it was a dive.
So you stayed with him,
Now-
basically.
Yeah. No, we got in really well. Yeah, so I didn't need to go back to my hotel. But it was there as an emergency backup, just in case.
That's good. Kind of a waste of money, though, but hey.
No, it wasn't. It was a really good weekend. Yeah, I really liked it.
Tell us more, Daryl. What happened? Does Juan listen to the podcast?
No.
Okay,
And anyway,
good.
this is history, so everybody's got a history.
Yeah.
No, it's we had a fair amount in common. We both like video games and
Like having
drinking and
sex.
sex, and so like good combo for a weekend. So yeah, it was really nice.
Sex and video games.
Sex and video games didn't work out. I still wasn't over my ex and was too clingy, and he was busy sucking off other guys in between our dates.
Oh,
So
well,
that didn't work for me.
no.
But, nice guy, just, nice for somebody else.
Yeah. He was too busy sucking other dicks. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Go
I'm a
on,
one-dick
carry on.
man.
Yeah. Really?
So let's see, where are we? So she booked at the hotel. At that time, I was in the middle of filing for bankruptcy. Oh, juicy, yep. Oh, to get out of all the debt from when my first wife was unwell.
Oh, yeah.
So it was quite stressful.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'd have to say. So the next thing I know, I'm moving to Missouri with Linda.
What?
Mm.
Missouri? Woohoo. Yep. Yeehaw.
Yeah,
I know nothing
that's
about
pretty
Missouri.
quick.
Yep. Okay, so he's moving there where he said he wasn't even going to visit. Uh-huh.
And I thought this might be God's reward for the care I took of my first wife.
Yeah.
Yes, maybe it be. Maybe that be. So Linda rented a truck and a trailer, and I used my money for gas, and we were on our way. Lovely. Linda didn't do any housework, but she had a maid.
Oh.
I used to joke she would be the perfect bachelor if she were a guy. I thought she might change now that I was there to help her with the chores. It's a bad start when you think, now that I'm here, they're going to change.
Never make any assumption that someone is going to change. And they might. They could. It's entirely possible. But you never... And that's what people do, though. Oh, I think they'll change. They'll get better. Yeah, nah.
If someone has to change to be the right person, they're not the right person.
Exactly.
As simple as that.
Yeah.
So I got a job in Missouri working nights. Linda worked days, evenings, and sometimes half of the night. She had a big job in a stadium. After 1.5 years of living together, she persuaded me to go back to college and get a degree. I agreed and really enjoyed going back to study. It doesn't say what he studied, but that's okay as long as he enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Once I graduated, we decided to move states and move in with her parents.
Oh.
Awesome. Now, I'm assuming here from having read the rest of the letter that it's because they were saving for their own home.
Yeah.
And that's why they moved in with her parents. I love her parents. They treated me better than mine did. I like the same things as her parents. We got on so well together that Linda and I have never vacationed alone. It's too much fun to bring her parents along.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
That's a good relationship.
Yeah.
About 1.5 years later, we had saved enough money to buy a house of our own. We found a great deal on a house, but it needed a lot of renovation to make it habitable. Still, it was well worth it. And after we moved, I found work as a regional truck driver. The pattern was to be gone for 5 days, then home for 2. The following year, we found out that her cousin was getting divorced from her now out gay husband. A good idea to get divorced if your husband's gay, yeah.
Doesn't tend to work that well.
Although I was watching some sex therapist guy on TikTok who was saying that a lot of couples that one of them's gay and they come out later and they kind of had a platonic relationship can stay together really well if they're not interested in sex with each other, both of them.
Yeah.
But for me, I would not want to be married to someone who wasn't attracted to me.
No. It's common, more common than you would think, though. And I always think the person's gay, right? I mean, there is asexual, but I find a lot of times like that person does not want to have sex with their partner, like at all. Quite common, and these could be like young, hot women. I'm like, yeah, he likes dick. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yep.
There used to be guys that only went for like really, really, really hot girls.
Yeah.
and it was because they were gay and they could cope with like a really, really, really hot girl, but like not any other woman. Otherwise, I had to be a man. That's where they were on the scale.
Oh, okay. So you can be straight for a super hot girl, but not for like a normal girl.
Well, if you ask any gay man, like, would you sleep with Angelina Jolie? Like, most gay men would say yes.
Really? Would you sleep with Angelina Jolie?
No.
No,
because she stole Rachel. I mean, Jennifer. What's her name? Jennifer Aniston.
I know,
Pitt,
bitch.
So.
Team Aniston.
Yeah, 100% all the way. So the next year, right, we found out her cousin was getting divorced from her now out gay husband, and we were the only ones in the family with a house big enough for her and her 2 kids, one of whom had oppositional defiant disorder against women,
to
come and stay. So they stayed for almost a year and a half, and there were a lot of issues between my wife and her cousin. Can imagine that. And
yeah.
so they were fighting, name calling, and by the time they moved out, my wife and her cousin were not talking and probably won't talk ever again. Have you ever had that with a flatmate?
Yep. Yes, I have. More than once. Yeah. Never family. Oh, though there's family I don't talk to, that's for sure. But most of them are dead. That's not why I don't talk to them. But yeah.
It gets hard when they're dead.
Jesus. But yeah, no, I get it. An oppositional defiance. Yeah, I had that. It's not fun. And I have a stepson. Fuck you. I don't know what you're talking about, Daryl. And I have a stepson that has it. And that shit is no fucking joke. Yeah. I wish it was legal to beat children. But it's not.
You can't say that.
Yes, I can. I'm joking. I'm joking. I wouldn't beat children much or very hard. I'm just kidding. But I understand why people do. I understand why people beat the shit out of their kids. I really get it. I wouldn't do it, but I have wanted to. Anyways, go on. Sorry. You're never going to get through this.
Well, it's obviously it's very stressful. Any family groups being put together by unforeseen circumstances and carving out your space. So it's understandable how that happened and why that happened, why they're not talking.
Yeah.
So in that time, between me moving to Missouri and now, my wife has not done much cleaning. And she's proud of that because she's proud that she never changed. And this really bothered me.
Yeah.
Interesting. Last July, I finally told her I was almost done with the marriage because of her not helping around the house. And because on top of that, her phone is number 1 for her. Okay, so there's 2 issues there. And the first one, I think, like, I like help around the house. I like there to be kind of equality in the energy that people put into a relationship. It doesn't have to be 50-50. It doesn't have to be even, but I think the energy exchange has to be there. On the other hand, if you met somebody who doesn't do housework and she had a maid, that's who she is. And I've spoken to a lot of couples who neither like doing housework or one of them really doesn't. And it's like, well, fine. The one that doesn't like doing housework just can pay for a cleaner. Or one cooks and the other doesn't. Well, when the cook needs a night off, the other person orders takeaway. Whatever. Yeah. Like you don't need to. It shouldn't be, in my opinion, a reason to split. You can negotiate around that. What do you think, Caroline?
No, I think dump the bitch. No, sorry. I've had a partner that did not do any housework, and I would try everything to try to get him to do it, and we'd have massive fights over it because I was doing it all. And so then, but he didn't want me to hire a cleaner because he was also a cheap fucker. And so then what I did was I started hiring a cleaner behind his back and lying about it. And he came home when the cleaners were there. And I was just like,
really?
Yep. And I got busted. And yeah, we broke up not that long after. Yeah.
Lucky you didn't have a hot male cleaner because that would have been suspicious.
Well, fine.
Or you did.
I didn't. No, it was a lovely group of Asian women who were very fucking good. I wish I could find them again. Where was I going with that?
It took a group to clean your house. What did you do in there?
No, but you know what I mean. They'll come for like an hour and there's like 3 of them and they'll just fucking whiz the whole place. Where if it's one person, it takes a few hours.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, but no, I mean, my partner now probably does more cleaning than me, and he's great like that. And I would never go back to being with someone who doesn't, because nobody likes housework. Like, who fucking likes housework?
I like housework, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. People like it, yeah.
Okay, well, I don't like housework, but I do it. You know what I mean? It's like we have to do things in life that we don't like. If you're loaded and you just hire someone to clean for you and that's the deal, yeah, absolutely, that's fine. But I don't know. It just shows it's a laziness, isn't it?
I guess it could be. It depends, because what I see in a lot of couples is having different standards of hygiene. So one person likes everything absolutely spotless and dusted every day and vacuumed every other day and sheets in the bed changed every day. Whereas the other partner might think, oh, it's okay to wait a week or 2 weeks to change the sheets, or vacuum once a week or once every 2 weeks. And so there is the level of cleanliness. And what I do with my current partner is I make sure that I step up to his. So he's cleaner than I am. And I knew that before we moved in, because I'd watch him with his flatmates cleaning up after them and putting away the dishes. And I was like, okay, so you're super clean. Okay, I'm just going to be a little bit tidier. I'm a clean person. I'd say I'm one of the cleanest people I know. I'm not the tidiest, not super tidy. So I'm more tidy now. I think it's great. Like we've got a dynamic where I love cooking and I cook every single night. And sometimes during the day, it was eggs Benedict for brunch. And then I'm going to make enchiladas after this podcast tonight. And then he likes doing the vacuuming and the cleaning mostly, and the washing. So it's like, great. He spends an hour or two every day doing that. I spend an hour or two in the kitchen and we're both happy. And so it doesn't have to be splitting the cleaning. I just think it has to be splitting the things that need to be done. The shopping, the groceries, the work, the bringing in the money, all the different things have to be shared.
Yeah. And I think it's being open and honest about that from the beginning. And if people, just don't expect people to change.
Even if you don't like it, who they are, they're showing you. And if you imagine people are on their best behavior when they're dating.
Exactly.
So if that's her best behavior, that's who she is. She's not going to change.
Yeah.
So then what happens? Okay, so this really bothered me. Last July, I told her I was almost done with the marriage because of her not helping around the house, and because on top of that, her phone is number one, which is a very, very common again. She wanted me to go to counselling to get my head straight. So there's a presupposition that your head was wrong there, but you've said that you did. And that's when I realised I don't remember falling in love with her.
Ooh.
That's a twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something you might want to remember if it happened. And I'm afraid I may have used her as a way out of my previous situation. And now I feel really, really guilty that her parents helped me so much. But I don't think that's why you should feel guilty. Well, maybe, but yeah. Ouch.
I don't think he should feel guilty at all. Do you?
Well, no. I don't think he should feel guilty with the parents, but I think living with someone that you don't potentially love, I think it's okay to feel guilt if you realize that you've been living with someone that you don't love and maybe leading someone down the path.
So you think he should feel guilty?
Yeah, because I don't think you should hold on to guilt, but I think guilt's an appropriate emotion, because it's recognizing, oh shit, I might have been doing something that's not good for someone else. This doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
I have to change something. And I think guilt is the emotion that kind of triggers it. So I don't think hold on to guilt, don't wallow in it, don't feel shame. But I do think, I think, fuck, if you've been living with a woman that you don't love and she thinks that you love her, then I think be a little bit guilty. Just a little bit, just that's my...
For 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just until you make the change. Utilize it.
I guess it all comes down to your intention, right? Like, if it doesn't sound like he ever had negative intentions or bad intentions or consciously tried to trick her or, yeah, I mean, I can't count how many relationships I got into basically because I wasn't over someone else, and it was a way of making myself feel better. Should I feel guilty about that? Probably. Have I hurt a lot of people? Yes, I have. Maybe I need to rethink a lot of things right now.
Okay,
Never
so
mind.
I've done that. I remember dating a guy, and I was probably coming out of a relationship on the rebound. Didn't work out, kind of ghosted him a little bit, and I felt guilty. And then since then, that guilt made me feel bad and said, don't do that again, Daryl.
Yeah.
So the next time I was in a similar situation, I was upfront and honest so that I didn't have to feel guilty later. So I'm not bad. You're not bad. This guy's not bad. It's just that it's when you realize that you might have been hurting someone by accident, then I think, yeah, that can come in. Could be. But however, we don't want you to feel guilty. We don't want you to feel bad.
No.
It's just, we understand. But as far as somebody's parents treating you well, I mean, you had a good relationship with them. That's what they do.
Yeah.
And whether or not you were her partner, probably you guys would have got on by the sound of it. So, okay, here is my dilemma. Okay, now it's the dilemma. Okay, now's the dilemma.
Okay. It's only taken us a half an hour to get here. Okay, yeah, go on.
I have always believed in God, and there was plenty of times in my first marriage when I look back and see where I was helped by God, and it can't be explained any other way. I believe that you're put in places to help people at certain times.
Yep.
The time her cousin was here, I can just forgive my wife for how she behaved and leave it up to God to deal with her. I did my part. My wife, however, can't let that conflict go, but she misses the kids of her cousin, so she has a friend who sends her updates on what they're up to. I've brought this situation up to my wife, and she says she's almost past it. I've been told by a counsellor that my belief and trusting of God is much deeper than hers. Okay, so we're getting a bit of background in your beliefs and how you feel about that conflict, which is that something she should maybe forgive and forget. So not to mention that she hardly ever initiates sex. She maybe initiated sex 10 times in 9 years. I'm getting tired of being the only one that initiates sex. She tells me it's just not her thing. Well, again, I'd say that's quite normal in a relationship for one to be the initiator.
Yep.
So I think I want out. My wife has depression and anxiety, which was diagnosed when she was 18. I ignored it until recently. Probably not the best thing. I just figured she would change when she had someone to care for her and help her. I've been told by 3 counsellors people don't change. Looking for some advice, please. Help. Okay, there we go. That's the second question. That one's for you, Caroline.
Okay.
My question was about the dick, so.
Okay, put me on the spot. Wow. That's a lot. That's a lot. It gives us good background, so thank you. Thank you for sharing and writing in. I think if you're not happy and you're not in love with somebody, you should leave. And I don't think it matters what they did for you or how good their family is, because I've been in that situation where I've been in a relationship and everything should be perfect, but it wasn't. Something inside of me just said, no, this isn't my person. This isn't right. And that feeling never went away. And I think life is short. Life is short, but it's also long. And it's just painful when you're with someone you're not in love with. Now, the whole initiating sex, I think that's very common with women, especially.
Yeah.
And what I tell men is one of the best foreplays is to clean the house. But if the woman doesn't clean at all anyways, she doesn't give a fuck, right? That won't be a love language for her. But you need to live your life for yourself. And it sounds like you've had a lot of trauma. You've had some major painful things happen. And you deserve to have an amazing love. And to be with someone who fucking cleans up too. Because that sucks. That's my own shit that's coming through right there. I don't know. What do you think, Daryl? What do you think?
Okay, so I really feel for you. I really do, because it's obvious that you're a nice guy. It's obvious that you care.
Yeah.
You cared about your first wife and you care about your wife now. You care about her parents, you care about the cousins and the kids and that whole dynamic. So it's obvious that you are a nice person, that you're a good person.
Yeah.
And it's also seems to me that you tried to set boundaries around this relationship when it started, but you couldn't. And that's also understandable because you were suffering horrible grief, horrible change, stress with the bankruptcy. So no wonder, I would have done the same as you. Somebody come from another state and says, hey, come and stay with me and change your whole life. I'd be like, yes. And I think it's one of the best things you can do to cope with grief is to change your environment.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to where you are now in a relationship where, okay, you sometimes don't remember falling in love with people because it happens over time rather than all at once. So you might just really love her, but you don't remember feeling it because it happened slowly, which is a really good way to fall in love. It's like those movies where two friends all of a sudden realize at the end that they've loved each other all along and they get together.
Yeah.
So I would explore that for one. Do you actually love her? Do you do things that show your love for her? And does she do things that show love for you? That, cleaning is only one way of showing love and sex is only one other one. If you're wanting sex with her, you must at least fancy her. So
yeah,
is that it? Then the initiating sex thing, like, I'm assuming your drive's higher, and if your drive's higher, then you're going to be the one initiating because she's always going to not be ready yet for her next round of sex, and you're ready before her, so you're asking her. It's nothing to do with how much you like each other. It's just to do with drive. So just let her off with that one. That is just your job in the relationship, is to initiate or to hold off and don't initiate it and see if she does. But you're going to have to be strong.
That's not going to work. I don't recommend that. I've had plenty of clients try that, and then a month later they're like, yeah, I don't think that works.
Well, I think it takes more than a month, and there's a book by Rosie King, Good Loving Great Sex, where it talks about this dynamic and gives you some practical tools that you can bridge it if you want. Because it might be that she wants some other forms of intimacy without having intercourse or having sex. And if you do that, she might then initiate intimacy with you, which could lead to sex or not. But if you expect to have an orgasm and penetration every time that you have intimacy, then if she doesn't want that, she's going to avoid it. Whereas if she gets what she wants out of every interaction, then she's going to be more likely to initiate it.
Yeah. And is she having an orgasm?
Yeah, good question.
What kind of sex are we talking about? Are you making sure that she's getting off as well? Because I find that dynamic a lot of times the man is just hopping on a missionary position and pumping away for a couple of minutes and then he's done. No wonder the woman doesn't want to do it. I'd rather have a bath and read a book. So not saying that's what you're doing, but have a think about that. You have to give to receive.
Yeah. Sent up 100%. 100%. So that's the sex thing. And then it comes to the depression and anxiety. Well, look, she was diagnosed many, many years ago. It sounds like that bothers you, that she's acting depressed or suffering depressed or has anxiety. Is it bothering you because it's affecting how she behaves? Is it bothering you for some other reason? At the end of the day, people don't spontaneously lose clinical depression because they've fallen in love. And it's something that actually it can happen, but it's a separate issue. So you really got to decide whether you can love her for who she is now, who she always has been, and who she's going to be. Because if you can't, like Caroline says, I have to agree, you're not just wasting your time being in a relationship with someone that you don't love, but you're wasting her time as well, because she could find somebody that loves her for exactly who she is, and that person is going to treat her appropriately.
Yeah.
And so I think get out, because you're not doing her any favors, because if you don't love someone and you hold off for their benefit and leave 3 years later or 5 years later, that's 3 or 5 years they could have been with somebody that really loved them.
Yeah.
So explore your feelings for her.
Go to therapy.
Decide how you really feel. He's been to 3 and he's getting the same message. People don't change. And so that's why I'm wondering, you're messaging us, what do you think we are going to tell you that other therapists haven't? What is it you want to hear that you haven't already heard? I wonder if you want to hear, hey, you love her, actually. You can stay. It's okay to stay. And that's true if that's true. Or maybe you want to hear, you don't love her, time to go. Maybe you want to hear she's going to change, but that wouldn't be true.
No.
So it's about accepting where you're at, forgiving yourself, and learning. Write down your feelings. That's a good way to find out how you really feel. Write down your feelings.
Yeah.
What do you think when she walks in the room? How do you feel when you haven't seen her for a week? When you've been away for 5 days and you come back? Are you like, oh, fuck, I'm home. I'm going to see Linda. Or are you thinking, oh, yes, I can't wait to see her and give her a cuddle. Like, how do you feel when you've been apart? How do you feel when you're having sex with her? Are you enjoying that? Or are you thinking about somebody else and watching porn too much in between? Are you, when you see something that she might like, are you thinking, oh, I might buy that for her? Or Linda would like this. When you watch TV and you watch something that she would like, are you thinking of her, or is she not in your mind? Explore your feelings for her, and if you don't love her, then have a talk with her. And it will be hard, and you might both need support, but she might feel the same. I doubt it, but
Yeah.
I think she's got attachment issues. But no, sorry, you go.
I was going to say, I can't count how many times I've had a couple come to me, and then because I'll always see them separately and then bring them together. And so many times they felt the same. They both want to leave the person and they're done with the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And I just need to go, you two need to break up, basically. Which other relationship therapists are horrified whenever I say that to people. But sometimes that's exactly what they need to hear. But I think, do you know about love languages? Have you explored that? Because it sounds like you're probably acts of service in a lot of ways, and physical touch are his love languages. So he's like doing, cleaning the house, and he's doing these things for her and wanting sex, and her love languages could be completely different. So make sure you're on the same page.
Could be words of affirmation.
Yeah.
Because she's telling him he's got a nice neck.
So I think look into that. If you haven't been to counseling together, you really need to. Because I think I'll get a lot of couples that have never been to counseling, and it just totally resolves within like 3 or 4 sessions. They're like, sweet. So you want to do everything. Like when I said before, you need to leave. You need to like beat that horse until you make sure it's dead and it's not getting up. I went to 5 relationship counselors in my first marriage, and it was the last one that said, you need to fucking leave. This is not okay. Yeah. And I'm really grateful to her. That was helpful. But if you've done all that and it's just really guilt and you don't want her to have anxiety, well, that's not a good enough reason to stay.
100%.
And you want someone who's just going to adore all 6 inches of that cock and initiate sex and help you clean up. But the other thing to think about is the grass isn't always greener.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing I'll recommend, if people are like unsure and they don't know, and believe me, I've seen clients for years where they just don't know, close your eyes and imagine yourself in like 5 years from now. Imagining yourself, Daryl, don't get hypnotized, stop it.
Don't you too late.
He's like,
he's
Daryl, I can see him on the screen and he's going into hypnosis. No, Daryl, no being hypnotized, naughty. I want you to stay with me. Stay with me. Now I can't do the fucking exercise because you're just going to get hypnotized. That's okay. That's okay. But just imagine yourself in 5 years from now. And imagine yourself with her and what that's like and how does that feel. And a question to ask is this shackles on or shackles off, right? Does it feel restrictive and, oh God, no, I can't do this for another 5 years? Or does it feel expansive and like, actually, it's pretty good? And do that with imagining yourself not in a relationship. Not necessarily with someone else. You never want to leave for someone else. You want to leave because you're not happy in the relationship, right? Because if you leave for someone else, it tends to get pretty messy. But find that's a good way to do it. Or closing your eyes at night and imagining a future you that's made the changes. What are you doing, you naughty boy? Daryl's making faces at me.
Try to make her laugh.
I know, I'm like, no.
Serious.
I can't remember what I was going to say. Oh, imagine yourself in 5 years and have a chat with that future self. So like talk to your future self and have them give you advice. Like obviously when you close your eyes and imagine that version of you that's still married to her and what does he have to say? Or imagine a version of you that's left her. It could be a shorter amount of time, but that I find whenever I've done that and imagine a future you that gives me advice, that advice has never been wrong. And most of the time I don't like it. Most of the time I'm like, no, I don't think you're right. But it has always been accurate every time. And so you have the answer. And I think you're asking other people and you're trying to get other people to give you the answer, but the answer is within you and you need to make that decision. And sometimes you're just not ready. What I find is if you're unsure in a relationship is ask for a sign. Ask for a sign. Is it meant to be over? And I've done that a few times and then something will just boom, blow up. Ask for God to take it away. If it's not the right relationship with you, ask for God to come in and say, and make it so you can leave.
Caroline, do you remember when you gave me that advice? So I was thinking about ending a work relationship.
Yeah.
And you said, just ask for a sign. But the sign isn't, should I stay? The sign is, should I go? Is this over? Is it dead? And so I asked for the sign and like right then and there, as I'm doing it, a hearse pulls up in front of my house and stops outside. And I live in the countryside. So this like hearse.
I remember that.
Stopped.
You started screaming.
Could not get a clearer sign that relationship was dead and it was time to move on. Pray to God. You told me you're religious, so pray to God.
Yeah.
He's given. I have words with God, and he tells me that he's already given you an answer to this.
Oh, really? Could you talk to God for me too, please?
Yeah, if you like. So if you've been praying, you've had an answer from God. You can ask for confirmation of what it is, and pray for the strength to do what you need to do. To do what you need to do. And if that's to stay, if it's to transform your relationship, or whether it's to go, whatever it is, it sounds like you need strength. It sounds like you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. So if you pray, you'll get it.
Yeah.
If you ask for it, if you imagine it, you'll get it. So yeah. Good luck. You sound like a really awesome guy. You sound lovely. You sound like you really care. And that means that good things are coming for you. Yeah. You're going to be okay, and your wife is going to be okay no matter what happens.
And I think it's that making that leap. I think people get stuck in this cycle of overanalyzing and what if I don't meet anyone else better and this and that. And I think it's that trusting that it will all work out and that if this isn't the right relationship for you, you will meet someone even better. So that purgatory of not knowing is the worst in relationships. That is hell.
And it's the worst on both sides for both parties. Because the other person, even if they don't know it, they feel it on some level.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for writing into us. I hope that this was some help for you. And would love to hear how you get on and how you do. And if anyone else would like this bad advice from us, or no, maybe it was good. Maybe it was good advice. Then please write in. We'd love to read your story and love to give you what we think. And as you can tell, we're going to be honest. Yeah. And make a little bit of fun as well. But that's just who we are. Sorry, not sorry.
What the fuck? Yep.
It's what the fuck.
There's a good book. Actually, there's a really good book I find for relationships called Getting the Love You Want. I think it's Harville Hendrix. It's either Harville Hendrix or...
Let me Google it.
Let me see. I've got the ebook. I'll look it up
Getting
real quick.
the Love You Want. Harville Hendrix.
That one's really... Yeah, Harville Hendrix. Excellent book.
I couldn't read anything by someone called Harville.
Yes, you could. You just stop it.
Couldn't.
Stop it.
No.
Yeah. Daryl.
However, carry on.
He's excellent. We teach some of his stuff, you ding-dong.
Yeah, but I couldn't read it. I couldn't see that name every single time I opened a book. Harville.
I like the name Harville. Thank you very much. It's a very southern name, Harville. Anyways, let's not get hung up. You know, people make fun of the name Daryl in the States. Daryl. Say,
Yeah,
my name
they
is
make fun of it in
Daryl.
Scotland
Do they?
and New Zealand too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But
people used to make fun of my name. They used to go, Caroline.
most of the people that refer to you as Caroline.
Oh, I don't like being called
Caroline.
Caroline. No. They used to call me Caroline of Vagina. That was always a fun one. But they didn't call me that more than once. I'll tell you that, because I would punch them in the vagina and they would stop. Okay, I'm getting distracted now.
So before you go on, I just want to qualify something, and that's that in Scotland growing up, there was this puppet of a duck. It was this round, big, bright blue, turquoise duck that was really annoying, and its name was Orville. And I've never heard the name Harville before, so when I saw Harville, I just see Orville. I see this big blue duck, and it was super annoying. So sorry that you're called Harville, but carry on. So this book, Getting the Love You Want, tell us about that, Caroline.
Well, it's really interesting. The guy is an amazing relationship therapist. But what he does is we teach some of this, Daryl. We actually teach it in our relationship module. Where you're wounded.
Yeah, you usually do most of that, though, remember?
Yeah, that's true. I'm the relationship expert. Thank you very much. Where you've been wounded in childhood, he helps you identify what age you were wounded at, and then how that normally expresses itself, and then what type of person you tend to be attracted to. And yeah, I read that and it was like, oh shit, like that's me. I think it was like, for me, my wounding was like between 3 and 4, because that's when my parents split up. And yeah, it was just like unbelievable how accurate it was. So I think the whole purpose to relationships is we meet people whose wounds match ours, or who are going to help trigger our wounds. And then we act out and try to get them to heal our wounds. But it's not up to that person to heal your wounds, right? It's up to us to heal that. So if you can do that yourself, then it's very helpful. The other one I would look at getting as well is a really great book by a man named David Schnarch, which is called... Were you... Okay. Resurrecting Sex is the name of the book by David Schnarch. I think he also wrote The Sexless Marriage. Shut up. That is mean to make fun of people's names, Daryl. Like, what the hell? It's better than, at least it's not Snatch.
Do you know what a snatch is? Does it have the same meaning in USA?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It means to grab something from somebody. Yeah.
David? Oh.
Now, I know what a snatch is. Thank you very much. Of course.
In UK, it's a vagina.
Yeah, it's a
So
vagina.
David Snatch.
It's Snarch, not Snatch. It's very different. Okay, you're just going to bring this down to a base level. I'm trying to be very mature here, Daryl, and you're just laughing about snatches.
Hold on, I'll mute myself till I finish laughing.
Shut up. You're okay. Let me see if I can find it. I have that one too. Are you still... Wait. Unmute yourself right now.
I can't stop.
Oh no. David Schnarch. I'm going to introduce you as Mr. Schnarch now that
Don't take any, don't Google image David Snatch, by the way.
David Schnarch. I don't even know how to spell that. Schnarch. Schnarch. Okay.
What was the book you were talking about?
There is...
Intimacy and Desire?
Passionate Marriage, Intimacy and Desire, but it was Resurrecting Sex. Yeah, Resurrecting Sex. But there's also Passionate Marriage and Intimacy and Desire. They're all really good. But Resurrecting Sex, I think it was maybe Passionate Marriage was his first one. but very, very good, and talks about high desire and low desire people and the whole thing. But yeah, I would highly, highly recommend that one as well.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, that one's more solving sexual problems. So maybe Passionate Marriage might be a better one. Now that I think about it. Anything by him is really good.
Just get all of his stuff.
And I mean, it sounds like you've been to therapy, and it is helpful.
Well, we'll figure that out and we'll get back to you.
I think that would be
because
good.
Because it's 8 p.m, so it's time for me to
turn into a pumpkin.
Make enchiladas.
At least you don't say enchiladas. I have people say enchiladas to me over here. Just like
enchiladas? I'm making
someone corrected how I said jalapeno, and they said, "Oh, you mean jalapenos?" And I was like, "No, I don't fucking mean jalapenos. I mean jalapenos, motherfucker." I didn't say it like that because it was in a restaurant. But Kiwis and their pronunciations, very interesting. So, on that happy note, write to us, ask us your questions. We'll answer them, probably not in a highly professional way, but we are two therapists, and we both are, like, honest to a fault. It's one of our greatest strengths and our weaknesses, depending on what our opinions are. And if you like this podcast, please subscribe and give us a review. And so, well, thank you, Daryl, for coming on again. It's been a long time.
Thanks for having me back. Yeah, thanks for lifting the restraining order so I could come back.
Well, you completed your court-appointed, year of therapy, so it's good. It's fine now. The meds seem to be really working, and yeah.
Really?
All right, on that note, bye.
Bye. Thanks. Bye, guys. Bye.
I'm trying to stop the recording. Oh, did it stop?